No. Derek, what's happening? Read my soul, what's happening? Well, welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host. 8 Wind is timeless. It all starts with a gentle sadness. I am the holder of the continuous ball game of the hero twins. I am the galactic daddy-o sitting on my galactic patio from Minneapolis to the universe. And tonight we have to thank a couple different sponsors. We're going with Alaskan Amber. So pop them if you want them. Pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. And we want to thank DGK for the fly gear. That is called a save. And Dravas for the bucket hat. Necessary evil, what's happening? Batman almost showing up in the daytime. Shit is definitely getting deep now. Darkness rises out of the bitch. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Oh, it's just been a trip day, but productive. I mean, very productive day. Very productive day. About 5 minutes, we'll bring the young elder in and have a little fun. Have a little fun. He is turning into the hardest working man in the business. Nothing like cold. And remember, I do blow big stacks. There we go. Clear out all these funky energies. Another beautiful day up here. I'm still basking we had earlier this week. That's cool. When the bat is out today, shit getting really real. What's good? Justice League. You know I'm on it. Still basking in we had the earlier this week. Okay, necessary evil. I feel you. That is smooth. That is real smooth. As you know, they put Courtney on. Courtney was up there again, Floyd's girlfriend, and it's with her. Remember, Courtney's cut out the money. Courtney is cut out the money. There's no way Courtney got any money. The mama with the funny nails got some money with her daughter. She got money through the daughter. The brother that was here, the brother came here. They got money. I don't know who owned the GoFundMe, but so if you just think the 27 million was the only deal, and I don't know if y'all heard this, they claim that they're going to give the north side of Minneapolis 500,000. I don't know where Courtney got paid. I am thinking by her testimony that Courtney got paid by them. Courtney, did you check out the way she had the red in the mix and it matched her shirt? That's hood dress. That's hood dress. Nails is all, but it's just who did her hair? Who said, that's it, Courtney? Oh, and that could have been my daughter been sitting here and she kicked my can away. You know, I put my leg up. I'm an old man, so I got to put my leg up. Okay, Jeffrey. The real dark side, Earth. Bill Seth got that time contract. Yeah, Bane is coming. All right. Let's get this together. Because we're going to get it together or leave it alone. I think I got this shit already. Let's see. Yes. You. I think this is it. Yeah, I think this is it. Let's see if that works. And get this ready. All right. See if that goes. And 53-point loss. Yeah, I heard about that. 53-point loss. Timberwolves lost. Trey Jones, shit, I think he started. But the Timberwolves look better. I said he looked better. Beasley works out. Russell was there. They would do, but yeah, I saw the Timberwolves. And then it's some shit with Green saying, you know, his lack of effort and everything. Hey, James, thank you for joining me. The one thing that got me was watching the national championship women's games. Both games followed the same kind of thing, especially the second game. The second game with the young lady here from Hopkins, Minnesota, that was the player of the year. See, the way they fix the games is a lot of turnovers in the first half. Make sure you get that 10-point lead. They only scored 22 points, which was the least. They scored 22 points at halftime. This girl averaging damn near 20 points a game. And that's all they scored. So you see how they do it. You see how they put it in. Okay. And so you know, you just got to kind of, both games was like that. Both games was like that. So it's just interesting. And it was a few baskets. Some people asked me to show basket manipulation with the women. And it was a couple times. It was a free throw late in the game where the ball clearly was about to bounce out. And it just bloop, right back in. So, hey, Sebastian, thank you for joining. Hey, Necessary Evil, CJ. But yeah, they got pounded tonight. I saw that. But I watched the Timberwolves and then I started watching the final games. I started watching the Final Four for the women, you know, because I don't mind giving them support. You know, I don't mind giving them support. So I check them out. Check them out. You know, there we go. So, but it's just interesting to see how they fixed it. Of course, they let it come back right now after seconds before family members turn into wife, daughter. They have to be put out. NBA players are now airballing free throws. You know, with the basket turned off, which was interesting, my son was like, I don't like watching women play because they miss layups. And there was a bunch of layups missed. Remember the South Carolina game, the big girl had a clear tip. She had a clear tip. And the other thing is in the girls' game, in the women's game, they steal the ball. South Carolina State's going down. Instead of her jump stopping and getting a solid shot up, again, she's going away opposite hand. I don't think she's left-handed and kind of a little hook. But the girl tipping the ball, instead of really gathering it and just, you know, popping it back in, yeah, she didn't gather it or she didn't pop it back in. So it was interesting. And the second game was just ridiculous. They let them come back just to keep the viewers watching, but it was just kind of ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous, guys. It just didn't look believable. It just didn't look believable. What part? But that's what I was doing. That was what I was doing today. So got a lot done. Saw a lot of people going on a date tomorrow. I look forward to it. So it should be really smooth. It should be a smooth day. Nice weather today again. So, you know, just hanging out. Got my walking in. Got my new. I should have brought my new insoles. My new insoles. And I didn't bring the bill in here. I got to read the bill to this shit because this shit's custom made. You stick your feet in the shit and they make it. But one thing I noticed yesterday, I wore my old ones, and my old ones was like scratch, scratch. You know how a bed, if you had them old spring beds, and you with your woman in front, that's how it sounded when I was walking. Which you would think would be bothersome. The world is loud. I went in the mall with them. Ain't nobody gonna hear them shoes in the mall. The mall is loud. I went in the supermarket. Again, the supermarket is loud. You got all them fridges in there, all them coolers. The coolers are loud. So King Kong through the Stargate. Made it through the Stargate. Yeah, yeah. I can't talk my daughter to going. Hey, I'm all right. My daughter won't go with me. So I'm in on Sunday. That's what I'm gonna probably do for Easter. Is I'm gonna probably go see King Kong by myself. Since nobody wants to see it with me. I'm gonna go see it by myself. So yeah. Let's see. Maybe. Oh, okay, probably that one. Yeah. So I'm gonna go see it tomorrow or Sunday, probably by myself. All right. So it should be cool. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. But like I looked at again, The Man in the High Castle and Killing of the Pacific Fleet. Let me hit you with this. This is what's kind of caught my eye. Let's see here. Just to read this shit and read the propaganda. Propaganda is already starting. The Marine Corps is about to reinvent itself drastically. All right. These are their goals. The U.S. Marine Corps is on the verge of its most comprehensive makeover in 100 years. 100 years is 1921, right after World War I. The makeover will see the Marines organized into smaller units supported by uncrewed ships and aircraft, precision strike weapons, and small amphibious landing. Here we go. This is the thing. The goal is to build a force capable of seizing China's bases in the South China Sea. So no longer are they going to be like in Afghanistan on the ground with tanks and shit. No. They want to be a strike force, smaller units of capable of operating across vast distances, seizing China's network of artificial island bases in the South China Sea. The revamp will see the Marines trading their tanks, artillery, and even the F-35s in return for long-range missiles, unmanned boats, and anti-ship weapons. Breaking Defense has exclusively revealed a plan to reorient from essentially a second land army to concentrate on amphibious operations in the Pacific. The Marines have fought in Iraq and Afghanistan as a land force divorced from the traditional amphibious mission. Afghanistan is a landlocked country. Why would you tell this? Like, why would you tell all this? Like, war is about secrets and strategies and surprise, yet they're telling you about this. So I find this really, I don't know, guys. I find this funny. Strategically wise, it makes no sense. It just does not make sense, guys. Why would you tell your enemies your plan? Why would you already say it? And see, this is what's interesting. Again, they want you to think that it's the brothers that's attacking them. But here we go. Let me get these right. All right. It was good enough. There he is. There he is.
Hey, what's happening?
Man, you like James Brown. You the hardest working man in show business.
Nah, I just got a lot of downtime and I try to make the most of it. So yeah.
Man, I was watching the 2 other videos and then you was live. All right. Since you've been so heavy all day, we're gonna start off lightheartedly.
Okay.
Now I've invented a game called Name That Pimp.
Okay.
Okay, the first pimp was very flamboyant. He ran around with a fox hat and fox fur tails. Name that pimp.
Is it 70s pimp?
70s pimp.
I, I, I
Willie
have.
Dynamite, baby. Willie
Oh, okay,
Dynamite.
okay. See, I wouldn't even. I was on way down the street. I was like, oh.
Okay. The second one. Midwest pimp that wore glasses. He wore a little claw hand. And he talked kind of like this. From the Midwest. Name that pimp. 80s movie. European pimp.
Not Mr. Okay, not Mr. White Folks.
Nope, nope, nope.
Okay.
Movie character.
Oh,
From the Midwest.
shit. And I think I know who it is, but it's like right there.
Dr. Detroit. Dan Aykroyd.
Jeez. I remember watching as a kid, and I was just like, I was so lost with that movie. I need to go back and watch it as an adult now to kind of catch everything.
Okay, pimps in music.
Okay.
Pimps in music. Name the song. No, name the artist of the song Pimps Don't Cry.
Do I want to say Sugar Free?
I think that was CeeLo.
Man, listen, there's so many Moonlight Pimps. There's so many Moonlight Pimps.
I tell you, we was talking about a real thing earlier because, you going across country. And it's a real thing where your body, like even me moving from Michigan to here, it took my body months, to just, and we only talking about an hour difference, and you had quite a big difference, going from one climate, to the other.
The weird thing is I've done this so many times. It's never taken me this long to acclimate. Never. Like I would sleep in for days, and my whole circadian was just, it just now took about 2 months to kind of get everything locked back in. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what did you think about Godzilla? I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna go see it again.
I loved it. I loved it. Adam Wingard, they did it right. Like, if I could imagine, fighting a lizard or a reptile, he was just so vicious, and he, no pain. He couldn't hurt it. It was just, I like the little native girl having the attachment to Kong. Huh?
Let me say this.
Yeah.
You didn't think she took the place of the Jessica Lange character?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too. She took that place.
And I didn't like they didn't develop Ren Sarazawa's son backstory enough. The one that was controlling Mechagodzilla. They didn't get into his backstory as to why he decided to, join up with Apex to, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, this is by far the best one they've done since they've established the MonsterVerse.
The colors, the sound, the Navy scene was outstanding.
Yeah.
It was like when he grabbed that jet trying to take off. Now, but here's the thing: did they shrink Godzilla? Godzilla was supposed to be 500 feet and Kong 50 feet. What happened?
What they said was during Skull Island, he was still a teenager. And so this is like 10 years had passed since Godzilla versus Ghidorah. Either 5 to 10 years had passed. They said Kong was going to grow into his full height, his full size. That's why he kind of has the beard to a certain extent.
Turns to white back.
Yeah, so they kind of filled up that plot hole to make it kind of a little bit more even. But I mean, he got wrecked the entire fucking movie. I was like, yes, because Kong got his ass whooped. Listen, how many times did the humans have to save his?
Oh, didn't he get knocked into the island like when he was on the ship? He knocked him down into the island.
The first time when Godzilla tried to drown him, they hit him with the depth charges. The second time when he went to Hollow Earth, the war bat was about to suffocate him. The humans came again. Third time they had to jumpstart his heart because after that thrashing he took, the entire time Godzilla clearly kicked his dude's ass.
Kicked his ass. But this is how I looked at it. I looked at Godzilla was basically the melanated, because in original it also showed the Europeans capturing nature. By capturing him, they captured nature. Now, when they went through to Inner Earth, they forgot all the water that's in Inner Earth. They were just like, fuck that part.
Right. Yeah.
But did you see where they claimed the document of discovery? When they went to Inner Earth and they put them little spiders out there, and she proclaimed, "This, my father. That was document of discovery." I was like, "Oh, they claiming this already." But at the end, it was both of them defeating the me or the my, defeating the machine. I kind of like that. I like that they added the 50 fight scene, because it was, fighting. But I mean but it was done well. But I like that they gave the allude to that. I thought that was kind of well. I thought that was kind of well done. But I tell you, man, I've had a rough week, man. I did a thing with everybody, taking them quantum, and it made me sick trying to come back with everybody. It was just too much. It was more than what I really thought. Okay. And then the ancestor was like, if you disappear on camera, they're going to be knocking on your door. Or worse, if you make somebody else disappear, they're going to be knocking on your door. If you phase, they're going to. So it was like, and then the Charleston, is that how do you say the brother's name? Charleston White?
Charleston J. White. Yeah.
I am still like.
He's a hoot. He's
funny. And it's like, I can't believe I get an email to say, oh, this is the way to blow up. So, like when you present information, that's okay. But like attacking people to gain, it's like, why? Like Lenore dude, he just keeps kicking the brother while he's down. And when does that end? When does that kind of thing end?
Yeah.
And the other people, like we saw the attack, we saw the New York dudes, the Pan-Africans, they killed all them. But you see the dudes who won doing the same thing. Right. They took that same hustle, that same behavior. And then you got guys that's kind of going after that group, and it's like, when does it end? It's divide and conquer.
It doesn't. I mean, it's basically just changing the characters, but the script is still the same. So yeah.
And I just like, I have some brothers. Again, I am being a time walker. I ally with Moors, and it's like, my thing I had with a seer. It was like when I looked at it, I was like, he didn't do nothing to me. That's what it came down to. I'm like, he didn't really do anything to me, so my attitude was wrong. Right. He was dealing with grown people. That was up to them. But it's just the whole information thing. It's like, it has to be a point where you don't argue and attack and you just put out information. Right. I think that's what a lot of young guys miss. And that's, because I'm a scholar. I call this the scholar community.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't go looking on other platforms just to debate or say, no, you're wrong because this is how it's supposed. I don't waste my time because I don't want nobody doing it to me. But it gets done to me a lot. Like, they'll be like, well, this person said this, what you say? And I'm just like, don't do that. You take what they say. If it works for you, if you can apply it, then by all means. But don't come back here to kind of compare notes to see who you think is right. It's like, that's not cool because I wouldn't do it to anybody else.
And that's what I don't think young people understand is that you don't have to get ahead by constantly on attack. That's the thing I used to see in Facebook. It was just constantly attack. And I'm like, well, first of all, Facebook is like bait. They bait you to come in. So you have to learn, don't take the bait. Don't take the bait. Now, what do you think about go ahead. What was you going to say?
No, I was saying, I just deleted my Facebook app. I didn't know it takes 30 days for them to delete your profile.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was kind of odd.
I want to bring this up too. It's a Russian company, and then we was talking about this. Maybe I mentioned it, maybe not. I know I mentioned it to myself, but it's a Russian company that holds content. Have you heard about that? That you can pay for your content to get your content back?
No.
Yeah.
From which sites though? They have access to all sites, or
they have access to YouTube? They have access to YouTube. They are their own server that has all this access to YouTube, but it's a price for it. So
let me ask you this: you believe Putin created the Bitcoin? Because that's the underground word.
Well, that would make sense because it was the dark web. I mean, you could buy cocaine, you could buy heroin. I mean, this stuff was moving for like 10, 15 years.
That's what throws me off because I'm like, people are acting like this is their financial way to salvation. I'm like, do you understand what this thing was created to do? This is all black market, women and children, drugs, guns.
Everything.
Like, and now all of a sudden they're going to give you access to this, and you don't have that karma behind what this thing was built for. Like, and this is they're going to key this up everybody's salvation. Like, it makes no sense to me, man.
And then even the dude they claim did it, you know, they have the TV movie, and he's so stupid and so in a habit that he gets caught at a Starbucks, basically using the local Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, you so sophisticated, you create this worldwide thing that everybody can move stuff without any way to track it, but they can track you. So,
yeah. And you know how slow Wi-Fi, Starbucks Wi-Fi is. Like, I spend enough time in Starbucks. No, it's not.
Right. So it's more than that. It's more than that, man. It is way more than that. So, you know, I didn't want to hold you all night. You've been working hard, brother.
Nah, you good. I got time. No, brother.
Oh, okay.
You know, we don't. You know, and it's my fault. Like, I don't spend much time and make my rounds with everybody. Like, everybody that I kind of chop my teeth with. So, you know, no, by all means, man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Bet. So what do you think about them taking the All-Star game out of Georgia? What do you think about that?
Now, help me understand the whole voting suppress. What are they suppressing exactly?
I don't see anything suppressing. They said if you send in your vote, you just got to show the ID. That's basically what it is.
So you need ID for everything else. Why would you not? Why is this a big deal? I'm so lost with that.
Well, what the dude said on TV, he said, if you get on a plane or try to get a ticket without ID,
no,
and see what happens.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
You are not getting on that plane. Is that the same thing? And then to try to say this is Jim Crow Reconstruction, how is this Reconstruction? I just don't understand that brainwashing. And anyone believes it. And it's like I'm reading a book called The Dying of Whiteness, and they was talking about Obamacare, and they talking to these dudes that live in Missouri, Tennessee, and they're asking them, people that need this, a diabetic dude, why don't you like Obamacare? And he tells the spell, it costs too much. And they ask several other people, and they give the same parodying answer, it costs too much. Well, it don't cost too much to you that you need it. It's costing from somewhere else. But that is how brainwashed people get. Not understanding that what you are against because of your beliefs, your political beliefs, your political dogma, it would, you know, like people say, voting against your better good. Voting against your better good.
Yeah, and I don't understand the removal of the All-Star game. So I don't know why, who's being punished behind that. I just seen it earlier today. I was like, okay, why would they do that? Unless you're just trying to ramp up people's emotions and feelings behind the voting thing, because it sounds like revisionist history at this point, because these young kids are not going to look up the original 64 voting Civil Rights Act and the voting. No. They're not going to do that shit.
And they did it to the same thing. I think they did it with Jordan, but maybe he got it back. Because remember, with the bathroom thing in North Carolina, they wanted to pull it from Jordan. So,
that's right.
You know, it's precedent. And did you watch Courtney? I talked about that earlier. Did you watch Floyd's girl, Courtney? Did you see Courtney?
Nah, what did I?
Courtney done had, like, she had a black and red, like, top. And she had her hair dyed with the coordination.
Really interesting.
She had the red, a little bit of red mixed in there. You know, all this is done.
Okay.
But Courtney's cut out of the money. I mean, where's she getting money from? Unless it's from the defense. Yeah. Because she didn't get none of that money that everybody else got. She was cut off. She was on TV one time.
One time, yeah.
I showed that video. She was on TV one time, and that was it. You never saw people rally around her or any of that. And I'll tell you something I found out is the prosecutor in Minneapolis, I can't think of his name, but they made him move. People stayed at his crib all the time saying, why aren't you arresting these people? And that cat had to move out of one of them $1 million houses. I just found out about that. I was like, whoa.
So what are your thoughts on Chauvin? Does he walk?
I think so. I mean, the precedent was in New York. Remember the dude in New York who they said died of OD'd and coke? They did him the same way.
That's right.
They put him down, put the handcuffs on him, and was on his back.
Yeah.
And then the coordinator said that he really had a heart attack because of cocaine. Remember, did you see where they released his
I seen it
at Duke? They released that stuff at Duke. Well, who do you think's at Duke? And you know he ain't got just that one lawyer. He got about 10 lawyers.
Yeah.
because he has the police. He has the police union lawyers. He has about 10 lawyers working for him. So it ain't just that. But see, they're doing it brilliantly because they make just one face. They ain't got people all behind him. They keep that all a secret.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's smart. That's smart.
Do you think the people will take the bait if he walks and overreact emotionally like we tend to do as a people?
Well, this is the problem they face right now. It's about 1 million people that's going down to hear it. And it's 3.5 million people, and out of that 3.5 million people, it's 200,000 adults. Now it's only 200,000 or less brothers,
mm-hmm.
but before it brought everybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody out. We gonna have so right now a lot of downtown is cut off. Like all around there is fenced off.
Okay.
Around the courthouse, but yeah, it's only not quite a battalion of National Guard. So they're going to be down there. I don't. They would have to cut off all the highways. That's what they would have to do. They would have to cut off all the highways because if not, the city's going to be packed.
Okay.
And I got a guy down there painting. He's trying to bring other artists down there. So I think next week I might go down there. I might be down there. I think I'm gonna get an electric bike and be down there to hear what happens when they wrap it up.
Okay.
I'm an old guy, so I don't want to have to.
Gotta go.
I'm not trying to fight too many young people, and get pushed around,
Holy shit, that's crazy. I mean, the family 27 mil, like that's probably was that one of the biggest payouts I've ever recall.
Well, they gave the Australian lady 20. They gave her 20 that the Somalian brother shot, which is the stupidest in the world. Where do you get your training that you would shoot across somebody's face in a car without taking any rounds?
Yeah.
The story it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Just training wise, it makes no sense. Yeah. So, but they made them the boogeyman. Mm-hmm. And then this dude who I said they made move, he said he was the only one that ever prosecuted a cop. That's what he said. He said, I'm the only one in the United States that got the prosecution. So we'll see. We'll see. But you had me scared earlier, man. I'm gonna tell you that pegging and that tossing the salad was more than what I'm used to hearing. Let me tell you how kinky. This is the kinkiest I get. So I run around my house 3 times. My girlfriend's waiting in the window. On the 3rd time, she jumps out on my face. That's about the kinkiest I want to get, brother.
That's your ceiling.
Yeah, that's it. It takes a lot of concentration not to drop her and not to get hurt during it. But
yeah, it's huge on Facebook, man. It's tons of Facebook groups, straight just solely black women pegging, and I'm just like, God damn. But it had been going on for a while, but I don't ever recall anyone really speaking on it to that extent. But it's huge, and even like black swinger sites, huge. Chicago has one of the biggest swinger sites in the country, and that's Chicago.
Now, I'll be honest. When I was working girls, we was asking for that.
Yeah,
we was asking for that, and it was like they had to have different sizes. It's like I was hoping you had a bigger fake one, and I'm like, that's what he said to you, and it's like, yeah. So the debauchery. It's like what's the train movie? On TBS where they're all on the train and stuff. Snowpiercer.
Yeah.
So if you really looked at a lot of that in the new administration coming in, the new administration takes over, he's armed.
Mm-hmm.
But they had some debauchery in the scene, and now like you're old enough to remember the Playboy channel that used to be soft porn.
Yeah.
Soft porn is on regular TV.
Yeah.
And Snowpiercer had a scene like that where they're kind of everybody's into soft porn.
I think that for me, that started with NYPD Blue.
When
the first time we saw Dennis Franz like butt ass naked, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" On ABC, and I was like, and then it just became a thing.
Right. So it's anybody can watch that stuff.
Yeah.
And but Snowpiercer kind of is showing about some of today's action, and it's interesting to do it in that confined space because it's supposed to be 1,000 and some cars, another engine just pirated. So it's interesting to where because they don't do the thing with the using the children for spare parts.
Oh, they changed it up now. Oh,
yeah, they haven't done that yet.
Okay.
but the new season just ended. And did you see the Magicians got canceled? Logan ran its thing. Preacher ran its thing. It's like all these
Lucifer's last
shows.
season is just
Lucifer. I mean,
yeah.
all these shows that are trying to give you a little bit of magic and stuff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like they get a very short run.
Yeah.
Magicians was, it got corny, but it was a lot of brilliant stuff on teaching people how to look at it in some ways. I guess is the only way I could say it.
Okay.
Is really how to do magic. It's like I got a book I recently bought, and it's like all nothing but spells. And I had to call around. I'm like, if you read this stuff, you are practicing this stuff. And my people is like, yeah, you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you even I want to study this, but I'm looking at these and I'm reading. I'm like, I am reciting these spells.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah. And it's just kind of an encyclopedia.
Okay.
But it's like you are reciting them, and reciting them somewhat, you're putting them into action.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, wow. So people don't understand. You have to be careful in some of this stuff. It's not as easy as Bewitched wiggling her nose and it's all easy. Because
there was one movie I had watched a while ago, and it was all about prepping for the ritual, because she wanted to summon an angel, and they had to go 6 months of a certain diet. They had to prep the house. Every room in the house had to be specifically prepped. Her body she couldn't have sex. I mean, it was deep.
But when dude beat his meat while she was naked, remember?
Yeah.
Remember? He got stabbed.
That's right.
And he was
That's
like,
right.
Archangel got me.
That's right.
Archangel got me.
That's right.
Now my friend, she thought that it was a little too much for her, but I'm like, it shows the amount of time that this stuff takes. Multiple rooms. You had to put sigils in multiple rooms because you are bringing this energy in. And I like that it just wasn't a circle lock, because that's what you get the average book. It's like you make a circle, you got to bind something. And it shows that even though, like when the gold rained on her, she still didn't realize that this is a miracle. Gold just don't rain, and she was like, and she was dishonest with what she wanted too. That was the problem with her intention. Her intention was dishonest. And she paid for it when she broke that stuff. I like that they show it was corny. It was corny the way they did it. But I like that she had to pay a penalty for breaking out of the house and then coming back in.
And then the time frame, because remember, she rented the house out for an entire year.
Yep.
So by the time she drove off at the end, damn near a year had passed by when they went through all this. So it was a very deep movie. I was like, wow, I've never seen a movie go that far in depth with the preparation of the ritual itself. So,
and that's what people have to watch. That's why I tell people watch it. And it's long. It gets corny at the end.
Slow burn.
Very slow. But that work made me like just study that stuff. Like, wow, they really put it out there. And so if you deal with people, it takes that much time. It ain't poof. It's not poof. Even attack on a loved one, however you want to do it. It ain't just you give somebody some money, they do some bones, and there you go. It's going to be an attack. It's not all about that. Now, my other thing is like, now how are you handling your newfound responsibility? Is it the work you like? Is it like what you like appreciation of what? No, let me go back. You tell me about your appreciation of music and how that puts you to want to be near trying to be on the creative side, and not necessarily an artist, but on the creative side of still having your hand in moving music.
The crazy thing is now those very same decisions I used to question the executives would make. Now I'm in the hot seat. Now I'm making those decisions that the managers are going to hate, the artists are going to hate. So now it's like, oh, this is what it feels like to be in the role reversal. I'm excited, nervous still, because it's all kind of coming back to me slowly but surely. But they trust my judgment, man, and I'm just happy. I'm more appreciative of the second go around this time. Now I know what to do and what not to do, and so now they've been dangling the Sony. He was like, in a couple years, if you want to move up to Sony under Sylvia Rome, you can. I said, okay, I see what you're doing. Okay. So we'll see in a couple years if I take the Sony bait. You know what I'm saying?
Now this like okay, so we had the models of we had Nicki Minaj. They
Hmm.
made a younger Nicki Minaj into Cardi B.
Hmm.
They made another kind into Megan. So is it about the personality or is it about the music now? What do you see that?
Nah, same music. It's wow. Remember who did Lil Kim replace? She replaced somebody at one point, and then you had all these.
Foxy.
See, and you had all these little clones come through, like Queen Pen and Sugar T, and all. You know what I'm saying? So, um, it's the same energy, right? But you know,
Mm-hmm.
the young, they got to keep it young and fresh. So obviously, Nikki's pushing what 40 at this point. You
I think
know,
so.
yeah. So she's moved. She's kind of transitioning her way into podcasting, kind of make way for these young girls. I mean, she's not gonna win. You know,
Mm.
when they say, okay, you had a good run, now it's time to bring in. I mean, they make it plain as day. Like it's these young girls. Now you got Mulatto, some of these other young girls coming out. You know, if you don't keep track of them, so pretty soon Cardi and Meg in another 2 years are gonna be out the door. You
Mm.
know, these girls they bring it up now.
You forgot Sparky D, Real Roxanne.
Hey, see, and how many real Roxannes were there? You had the dark Roxanne, you had the light skinned Roxanne. I was just like, what?
Oh,
Yeah, she was crazy.
now about your ear for music and your ear for production. Where does that in your artistic side? Where how does that fit in with you?
Okay, so I'm still an old head, old school with it, but now I've always kept my ear with the youngins, so I kind of tap into what they like as far as the sonically how what they sound, the
Mm-hmm.
producers of these young producers that's kind of the wave or whatever the case may be. So now I have to think what benefits the label. Is this music going to benefit the label? Not necessarily. Um, is it the best? Is it the hottest thing? You know what I'm saying? If the label feels confident in it, they're gonna push the hell out of it, and they're gonna convince you this is the great record. Period.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of
Good
records out
point.
here that if you listen to it on the first try, it's like but once you hear it 50 fucking times, they got you.
Yeah, it's like the one the young brother Moray. It's like the song to me is old, but now
Mm-hmm.
it's just hitting the radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just hitting the radio stations, and that's kind of how music is. It's like you you put a bunch of stuff out, and you're not sure which one will hit, and then
Mm-hmm.
one that hits, it's like three or four projects ago, but yet that's what everybody is on. I find that interesting,
Well,
kind of
this
interesting.
this is why I'm glad the versus thing is. Even though I hate they sold it off, but the versus thing is kind of reminding everybody, hey, there's still a place for good music. This is what good production sounds like. This is what when you play instruments. This is what it sounds like. So like this Earth, Wind and Fire Isley Brothers thing coming up next week.
Hmm.
Holy shit! Like it's gonna be cool to pick up an instrument and play again. You know.
And if they and who's that lady? They let Ernie Isley sit
Man,
there and
and think
shop
about
on
all
that.
yeah, and all the young eyes and ears is going to be listening to this shit, and it's going to be like, wow, this is what my parents listened to, and now you get to see them in real time and see what your parents saw growing up. Yeah, it's a huge move for them. Their stream is going to
And
go through the roof.
and you're old enough to remember the Black Expo. Was when you grew up? Was it still in Chicago?
Yep, I
Okay.
remember. Still had the Black Expo. You had the Chicago, Indianapolis. Hell, I still remember the one we went to Puerto Rico. What's it? I forget. Jack the Ripper. Back in the day, we had the music conferences. But yeah, Chicago Expo, Indiana Expo.
It moved to
They
Indiana.
yeah.
Yep.
They were huge things. Yeah.
Now you old enough to remember when Soul Train was on WGN? Are you old enough to remember
Yes.
that?
Channel 9 for us, WGN. Yes.
WGN, yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
how he started. That's how
Yeah.
he started in a little
Yeah.
small studio on WGN. People like, oh, no, he wasn't just in California. He started there.
Yeah, because that's where all the Cubs games were played on or shown on WGN. So yeah,
Ernie Banks, baby, Ernie
man.
Banks.
I mean, shit. For me, it was Leon Durham, Ryan
Right,
Sandberg.
Sandberg. Yep,
Jeez, I mean that. I don't know how they didn't win more games because they had top to
good talent.
bottom. Yeah,
Good talent.
yeah, yeah.
Now, let me see. How do I want to ask this? Like being in the Midwest, it's a different style young men have. and then you go out to the East Coast. And so, what do you see like in the young people? So like the young people you would run into in Chicago compared to now the young people you see in California. What is their mindset? Do you see any difference in that?
Wow, that's a good question. Young people in the Midwest, I would say, are a little bit more unhinged in a good way. You know, they don't sit around and wait. Their style of dress, very loud, very flashy, almost like Harlem in New York. You
Mm-hmm.
know, they dress for the season. So if it's Tim's and Nike boots, it's Tim's and Nike boots.
Yep.
Still, pretty much everybody still wears skinny jeans. Honestly, like that hasn't left. They're still wearing skinny jeans, but nice plaid, bright colored tops, shirts, jackets,
Okay.
fitted caps. The hair is a big thing now. You see more. I see more young black men with locks. Now, whether that be a spiritual thing, or whether they don't realize it, but you see a lot of young brothers with locks, and I mean down to their past their fucking shoulders, man. And these are some of the grimiest kids I've ever met. But their locks are perfectly coiffed.
Mm.
You understand? So they take time and effort into their hair. So that's always been a Chicago thing. Just Midwest thing. The hair
Right.
is the almost like the peacock thing. But these young kids, man. I mean, as far as the locks, beautiful locks, beautiful locks. You know.
Now, my son City is his hair's down to here. I mean, he
See?
just let it grow,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he just, he can do several things with it. But yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. It's funny. I look at the styles here, and it's very much similar. What you say, they don't wear the fur here, not as
Okay.
much. You
Okay.
don't see like you go to the pro games, you go see when they were pro games, you wouldn't see the brothers with furs.
Okay.
You'd be in Michigan or Chicago, you would see fur coats in the wintertime. All
Yeah.
my aunts would have fur coats to go to church.
Okay.
It was like that's when they got a certain level, all of them bought the full length sabers.
Okay.
Seeing all these church ladies with these $3,000-$4,000 coats.
That's what's up.
I'm like, look at this. But that's just what they were into, bad. Did you catch anything that I said about China with the Marine Force breaking up their forces to small units to deal with China? Have you ever studied? Have you come across any of that?
I'm late to that party. Yeah, I'm late to that. Enlighten me, please.
Well, just it's opened it. What they're going to do is they're going to have more strike forces because they want to practice attacking these small islands that the Chinese hold.
Hmm.
And so instead of them being in a landlocked like in Afghanistan, where you're up in just mountains and stuff, they got rid of F-35s, they've got rid of tanks, armored personnel carriers.
Hmm.
They are just going to operate on small strike forces to fight these Chinese.
Okay. Does that have any ties to the Myanmar situation as well?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that is how they are practicing, and they're putting that propaganda out there. It's like, and the ships are going to be strictly supply ships,
Uh-huh.
and then they're going to have deep missiles where they can make a call and they send a missile, to such and such sites.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Have you seen the footage of the little African kids practicing the Shaolin monk techniques and shit? Right.
I haven't seen it. Tell me.
Okay. So, in certain cities of certain countries in Africa, right, the Chinese have been teaching them Shaolin Kung Fu. And so the little African kids are just doing all the types of shit, backflips on their bare heads, breaking bricks. These are young little boys and shit. And I
Okay.
see all these black folk, yeah, that's black power, whatever. And I'm like, they're being taught by Chinese monks.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's their
so
culture.
they couldn't provide you mean tell me you black people couldn't provide your child this type of discipline to create these little these little gifted monsters of martial arts, and yet you want to take credit for something that you did not help create.
That is, wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, I mean it's to the. I mean the feats of display are awesome. I mean because they're doing the same thing you see a little Chinese kid do, but everyone's like, oh, it's awesome because they're little African kids. And I'm like, they have Chinese instructors. So where were the African instructors to teach them? I don't know, capoeira, whatever the fucking case may be. It's just it was odd to me. It was odd to me.
It's like the way they go to Africa now. They back the African basketball leagues. They back the European leagues, And it really seems like by 2050, they want all the players in the NBA to be from somewhere else but America.
I saw the African Basketball League. I was just like, okay. I mean, if you make it over there, that's a win. But like you said, globally, that's not a good look.
It's one of the lower leagues too. We had a guy. The guy sent his video. The guy had one play, but he showed 100 angles of one play, and that was his film, and they took it.
So it's lower than a G League.
Yeah, it's one of the Africa's the lower leagues. The top leagues are Israel, England, Great Britain.
Okay.
Spain has a top league, and there's one more. Italy might have a top league too. So yeah, it's considered one of the lower areas to play. Like going to South America, Mexico, those are considered lower leagues. But I mean, you still get to play. Not to say the guys aren't playing in pro ball; they're still playing.
That's all that matters. Yeah, for them. Yeah.
So it's because we would send guys all the time. We'd have guys come into our semi-pro games and highlight these dudes. So it's been they've been in Africa for quite a while. But they'll follow one instance. They followed a 6'8" father home to see his children. The NBA people did to see if he had tall children. And this is the kind of thing where they develop these people. They put these people. They don't have pro basketball over there. They don't have college, high school. They started playing pros. That's what the ball boys was doing. They were playing like a high school level, early college entry.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm still going to say that the NBA is going to be the home of the best talent. I get what they're doing, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to come to America to make it. Like, you test your skills against the brothers in whatever league in America for the most part. Like, they're still the standard. I know they wish to change that, but I mean, as long as it's, some young brother in a basketball court somewhere, you know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of them. AAU is big business.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
It's big business.
So unless you plan on dismantling that shit, which you'll never do because
it's not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
That's not going anywhere because people get graded 4th, 5th grade. If you play enough games, you start getting graded. So they know about you going all the way up. Like LeBron was known as a young boy because he's playing in these games. Like the young woman that played here, Becky something, she's from Hopkins that played at UConn that got beat tonight.
Oh, I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, she was player of the year.
Okay.
This girl, she was from Hopkins. She was player of the year. And they lost tonight. They lost to Arizona. So Arizona is playing Stanford. Because they had like the first time two sisters was in the Final Four.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see the NBA brothers are now bringing their sons through the AAU programs as well. So Wade's oldest son, Bronny Jr., it's a couple other former NBA guys bringing their kids through it. So the AAU is holding tough.
Oh, it's like Stacey King back when he was playing. I met his son. Mike took both of his boys. One of the times I saw Larry was in was it Forest Lake or Lake Forest? What is it called? Around Illinois, around Chicago. Was it Forest Lake?
I think it's Lake Forest.
Lake Forest. Okay. There was a gym there, and I ran into Larry with Mike's boys. And I told a story where Tony Kukoc tried to fight me over a 5th grade game. He chased me down the court.
Wow.
I was about to put that work in on Tony. And they came, apologized to me and everything.
Okay.
And the thing I remembered about him is seeing his wife, she had one of them $5,000 bags that wasn't fake. She had the real bags.
Okay.
It chuckled me. And then after that, man, he always would tease me and they would speak to me, after that. But yeah, they've always had, and then he got traded to Milwaukee.
Okay.
So he played, he ended up, I think he finished in Milwaukee. So yeah, that's all. And then they had Giannis have his baby at the All-Star game, already showing them to the world that this one's next. He got 2 brothers there. And it just makes me look at, you got 3 brothers in the league. Who's getting sacrificed?
Mm-hmm.
Who's getting sacrificed?
Speaking of sacrifices, Ricky Smiley, people are dying all around that guy like it's nobody's business.
I hadn't heard that.
So he lost his stepfather. He buried his stepfather. He lost a cousin. And then a couple years ago, I think it was a child that he had custody. Weird shit, man. Like that dude, like every couple of years is burying somebody. Like,
and he ain't really had real fame.
No,
he's
exactly.
had just like Borderline fame.
Shit, he is on the radio. That's pretty much what he's been doing for the last 10 years. I'm like, this nigga, he got bad mojo around him. You know?
That's the price.
Because the one auntie of the boy that died, she made a video basically saying the reason why he's dead. He makes a response video. Hey, I can't save everybody. You're still mad I took custody of him. And she was implying it was something more than just a natural physical death. And I read between the lines what she was saying. But man, somebody is dying around that dude. So.
Man, but that's the price that they pay. And like you said, if you start helping, that's the key, I think. If you start helping people, one of them lanes that go to who got helped opens you up, I think. Opens you up to attack.
Yeah.
But you get to talk about him. You get to say, hey, he's on our team, he's in the family, and so I just find that just amazing. And I tell you, it makes me even leery of the big dude out in L.A. that always has the Rosla, what's his name, the Islam dude you was talking about.
Oh, Rizza Islam?
Yeah, and he's got Corey supporting him, and I'm like, and you know, like now you hear Qs, they can't wait to say Farrakhan is a Q, Farrakhan is a Mason. They make them take them, they got pictures of Rizza with that machine, you know, the machine the Scientologists got. You ever seen those pictures? They got pictures with the two rods. They got pictures of him holding them. Well,
he's still fighting that fraud case, but they've been trying to postpone that thing for so long, and hopefully it dies out in public. But he's still on the hook for that shit. Him and his mother for the Medi-Cal fraud.
The government don't forget about that. It's like they did the loans. They gave all these people the loans, and the people took the bait and just thought you can just spend like crazy. And yeah, now they're like, you didn't spend it right. We coming at you.
Well, the bad thing is I see more black people getting pinched for that than white folk. You know, unfortunately, they're going to come after the low-level blacks. You know, that little 30, 40, 50, 60 grand you done fucked off. They're gonna come get you for that shit, you know? And
they got a guy here. He bought a boat, bought a couple cars. They got a guy here. Damn. I forget what he owned, but they got him. They got this white cat here, this European cat here. They got him. Okay. But again, he wasn't, you know, he didn't get millions. He got hundreds of thousands. And, you know, he was like, I'll make the money back.
See, I would never spend that shit on I would bury that shit in somebody's yard. I don't know, man.
I would have put it in about 30 different hands. Yeah. By the time they try to come back at me, it's nowhere near me, but still mine. That's man. Possible.
Jeez.
Well, man, I know you've been going. I don't want to, you know, knock you out, but I know you've been working hard today, brother. And so I want to, as long as you can go, it's up to you, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I gotta go shopping tomorrow and fucking spend money I don't have and some bullshit. So
I have a date that I can't wait. I done hooked up everything here because my daughter, I'm with my daughter almost all day.
Okay.
And so, but my son sleeps and my son stays up all night playing Xbox. He's got the cheating thing and all that. And so he'll be in bed till 4 or 5. So the time I get back, at least she got him here. If something happens, she got somebody 6'5", 240 that can help her out.
Okay, that works.
Thank you, brother. And I want to thank you for, you know, putting me on when all this was erased. And I just thank you for the support.
Thank you, man. I look to you. So you one of my big homies. So of course.
And this has been like, man, we've known each other about 4 years, maybe going on 5. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it's really been fun.
And so we both see each other as we go ahead. Children getting older. What do you got? I got a 9-year-old daughter. I got a 9-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 30-year-old.
This one, I got 12, 7, and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, don't give me a line, man.
You sound like my brother. My brother just turned 55. He has a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. See, he has his hands full.
And the crazy thing is, I want one when I turn 50, and then I'll be good. Like 50 is like I want some Tony Randall shit. Like 50, and I'm good. So.
Oh, my daughter is 50 years younger than me. My 9-year-old.
Jeez.
She's 50 years younger than me. Her mama is just turned 41 or 42.
Yeah.
pimping never slows down.
Hey man, never sleeps, man. We gotta keep this thing going. Shit, what you mean?
And that's what I like. I mean, your Mac game is superior, and it's like Macs recognize other Macs,
That's
and
it.
that's the thing. And
Yeah.
it's like I didn't have 8 children without having some kind of game. Just don't
Indeed.
happen. It wasn't no accident where I was just like a bird and just ran into somebody. It took a little bit to get that thing going.
Right.
So,
Right.
so thank you, brother.
Hey,
You
no,
know,
no
I,
problem. No problem.
and I appreciate your content and keep at 'em, man. Keep
Hey,
at 'em.
same to you as well. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
big
you
dog.
again.
Yep.
All right. Good night.
Right.
Well, that was my man, Pimpy's what did you say? Pimpy came from the pulpit. Who said that? Edward. Pimpy, let me take this off. It is hot. Pimping came from the pulpit. I think the first girl that was hungry and somebody had some bread and she gave up a little booty for some bread. I don't know if that was the pulpit, but I see your point. I'm looking the other way at the bullshit all straight. Done snitched your son out, said he cheating on the game. You can't see people dying around. He sees it. Ricky sees it. Lorenzo, he sees it. Mackin is a process, not a recess. There you go. I love that. Keep the pimping. Hey, Jody, thank you for joining me. Jeffrey, Lorenzo, Necessary Evil, Marcus, I think I haven't said what's happening to you. Derek, I think I did. Read My Soul, thank you for coming in. Who else? The one, Aggie Pride. Oh, my goodness, the one. Email me because I don't know if I want to order this XXX shirt. Sometimes they fit me and sometimes they don't. Let me tell you the funny shit I did today, and I should have brought my insoles over. And so I'm walking all day in my old insoles, and they're squeaking like rain and shit. And it's just so funny that they squeak. So I bought the new ones today. They squeaked a little bit, but he told me just put some duct tape on the bottoms, and they'll start squeaking. Because what it does is the rubber of the insole rubs against the shit. But the shit is like pillows on my feet. I'll say that. But it's like squeak, squeak, squeak. Sounds like an old bed. The old beds had the springs, and if you was having sex on you, that scrunch, 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 scrunch. That kind of sound. I remember my son with my daughter's mother. My son was like, "I know what y'all doing in there. Y'all doing that nasty stuff, that honking." And we would shut the door. This little fucker would try to look up under the door to see what we was doing. So we had to put shit. When you're in college and you're smoking weed in your room, you put the towel under the door and run the fan out the window so the room don't smell like weed and you burn an incense. That's why we had to do this little ass. Worry about what we doing in here. Okay, I think I said what's happening to everybody. And you guys know what I'm doing in the morning. Looking at Brother James lie. I am definitely going to have some pancakes, and I don't do it very often, but I'm going to have some pancakes and hockey puck sausage in the morning. It's Good Friday. I'm going to be good going to McDonald's tomorrow. So that looks like that is going to be something. Instead of cooking, I'm going to treat myself to that. I think I'm going to have one in my 40s. This is the reminders. Let me tell you the reminders, okay? This is the reminders. So one time, my daughter's mother, when she was pregnant, she woke up and said, "I feel sick," and she threw up like The Exorcist. Yeah. She woke up, said, "I don't feel good," and she just vomited all over the bed at 3, 4 in the morning. And we had to change all the covers and stuff. Every time we'd go out, before we'd go in a restaurant, she'd get out the car and she would go and vomit before we'd go in the restaurant. So she'd say, "Now I'm hungry." So keep that in mind. That goes with it. I've had a hand in raising 7 of my children. My oldest daughter, I didn't. But none of my other children ever peed on me. None of that stuff. And then I have this girl, and every time I took off her diaper, she seemed to pee on me. I just couldn't get away from it. I'm like, "What is this with you, girl?" She would just, every time I changed the diaper, and our boys, like City, I got him good. When he was about 6 months, I like, "Hey," and it went up in the air and it splattered in his face. Of course, he cried, but it was like, I got out the way. His mother was like, "You should have blocked it." I'm like, I am not blocking anyone's piss, baby or not. I'm not blocking that piss. He pissed. He had to suffer the consequences, not me. Okay, Jeffrey, you ain't got to be tripping like that. You ain't got to be tripping like that. Oh, that's fucked up, Jeffrey. That's vicious. You don't have to be vicious like that. Keep that hate to yourself, baby. Keep that hate to yourself. You know, because that sounds like something personal. Don't come on here and be personal. Just say you don't agree. That's all. Just don't agree. You didn't have to watch it. You know, that's the thing. You didn't have to watch him. You don't have to agree, but you ain't got to be vicious. That's vicious. That's too much. Pastors and pimps get their game from the same store. That I would agree with. That I would agree with. It's the same kind of thing, coming at a different kind of approach. You know, it's a different type of approach, but it's the same. The same means. It's the same means. I would agree with that. It's the same means. Because all pimping is, any kind of, like, what I call pimping is you get other people to do your will. That's what pimping is. So no matter what it is you do, you get other people to do your will. That's pimping. You can be at a regular job and be the lowest person there. You can pimp everybody in the factory because you can get the people to do your will. And that's all it is, and nothing more. And if you don't think a preacher is that, a preacher is definitely that. I've told the story before where a preacher shamed this girl. She paid a little less of her tithes, and the preacher shamed her in front of everybody. Somebody in here would rather have a new car than help the church. That's ego. It's like the doctor wanted to do surgery on my shoulder, and I declined it. He didn't talk to me after that. Because he's looking at that bill and saying, I'm going to make this much, cutting this mug open. And then you take that away, he done looked at something like, yeah, we got this money coming in on this day. That's how they look at it. And so he held that against me. Well, Jeffrey, you're not going to use this to talk shit. You know, just disagree. You ain't got to say shit. What did I say about this channel? We're not attacking nobody. Marcus said, not the McDonald's breakfast. Yeah, we got to have the hockey puck sausage. Pregnancy was awesome. So that's what you're saying. You on your ego. Don't be on your ego. Not having nobody attack nobody. We already went through this. Everybody on here, no. Don't attack anybody. You know, keep that shit to yourself. You just disagree. That's all you got to say. I disagree with him. As a nurse, I pimp the surgeons at work. Now, that necessary evil, that would be definitely, I could see that. Because the nurses run the shit. You know, nurses be running the hospital. Doctors be in and out, be visiting a bunch of motherfuckers. It'd be the nurses in your face. And so if you ran a floor and you pimping all them people you working with, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Many doctors are Masons. Yeah, I kind of ran into that. I say, fuck the churches, mosque, and all that shit out here. Rape and circumcisions. Yeah. Hate them all. My nephew cried when my mama avoided. I want a McDonald's hash brown. Oh, yeah, the hash browns are good, too. But the hockey puck sausage makes it. I'm not much of a pork eater, but you can even get the hockey puck sausage with cheese and egg, too. So you can get a hockey puck sausage biscuit. I mean, you know, that's pretty good too. City likes that. That's right, PG. I'm getting my ass up. Ego's the main obstacle on the path of self-actualization. You know, I don't care if you don't like a motherfucker, but you're not gonna just sit here and down a motherfucker. You know, you're not gonna do that. You know, that's my rules. Motherfucker, you ain't gotta talk shit about anybody. You disagree, but you're not gonna use this to attack a motherfucker. I mean, that's not being grown. That's all. I'm not saying that your fight is not right or wrong, but I'm saying this ain't the place for it. That's all I'm saying. You got to bring something positive. I don't like when people attack other people. I've said that many times. Now, I've talked to you, and you are a cool brother. I like the information, but it comes to a point where you're not gonna be fouled. You're gonna play, or you're not gonna play. That's it. If you're gonna play by what I ask, that's what I ask. Now, if you can't play by that, then just be silent. You can hate in silence. In silence, you can hate in silence. You ain't gotta let everybody know you hate a motherfucker. I mean, that's on you. You just had that hate. You put out the information everywhere else, but not on this live. I'm not gonna have people be attacked, and that's just real. And it ain't because it's him. It's like I've said that in here when they was fucking with Draco. I said the same thing. Leave that motherfucker alone. I'm trying to build. I ain't about attacking motherfuckers. And if you can't be respectful, come on. I ain't saying that you're wrong, or I ain't saying that you're right. What I'm saying is the way you're going about it. I'm not going to keep having you go about it this way. Now, you my man. You dig? You my man. But I'm not going to have you attacking anybody. So if you ain't got any other rhetoric but attack, then this ain't for you tonight. Maybe you need to take a time out and come back tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. When you feel players have killed the NBA? You feel players have killed the NBA? KJ, some way, the young cats, I hate to say it, the young cats in a lot of ways, because what they did is when they brought this 3-point shooting in, like just with Curry gets caught, Steph gets caught in not playing defense. The game is so back and forth where a lot of cats don't really play defense. Steph gets caught in that. When you're making half-court shots, what kind of defense you really got to play? And remember, when they gave him the MVP that first season, up by 40 at halftime, he ain't even playing the fourth quarter. So cats don't really play defense. A lot of these young cats, when they in these AAU games and just dominating, they don't really play much D. That's not the point of it. Getting buckets is what puts you in the league. I mean, you understand what they're looking for. They're looking for motherfucker to do buckets. They wouldn't look at Zion because his defense, and yes, he did make some great blocks and shit, but they was looking at Zion because he can make them buckets. And that's what the league is, making threes and making shots. I dated let me see, and she took me to her cousin's house on her dad's side. And these people had 2 black baby mamas with a 2-story house or of the church people's money. Wow. You cannot build with and attack other brothers. There you go. The ID, the super ego reality. Freud described it as the basic part of personality that urges people to feel the most primal needs. Super ego, on the other hand, is the moralistic part of the personality that forms later in childhood as a result of upward bringing. The reptilian brain is often still controlling long trauma events, and when it's in control, thinking that the brain shuts down is possible to reason. They took away the defense in all sports in some ways. But I want to say what Jody said. That is why in South America, and again, when dudes try to bring the Moor shit into South America, what you got to understand is Moors never bound their heads. Moors never bound their heads. That is not a Moor thing. That is an American thing, found first by the Omen. And matter of fact, the Omen not only bound their head in the back to get away from the reptilian brain, they bound their head in the front too. And I don't think that's discussed enough. They bound their heads in the front as well. So this puts in a new kind of brain. This puts in a new kind of self-awareness. Gets rid of that reptilian aspect of us. They ain't just do it just to do it like the Chinese because they thought sexy feet was small motherfucking feet and they buying their goddamn feet. No. These people is looking at getting into true awareness. Everybody as a society. So when these motherfuckers disappeared, it all starts with a gentle sadness because everybody understands. You hear my son rhyming? What did I miss? I have the warrior spirit of my mom and my father in me, and not having it anymore. I know I'm here. I just done with the bullshit. I can't blame you. Why can't everyone in football be the same size? I miss what you said. Read My Soul said they took away all the defense in sports. Well, what football has turned into was a drill called 7-on-7. That is what football has basically turned into. You don't really need to rush people anymore, but that's where it comes from, the 7-on-7 drills. Like the way that when they did flag football, they had an Air Force version and they had regular flag football. The one that's the most successful in the nation is the 7-on-7. Now you do have a few leagues that have flag football just go all out. You do, and they don't get hurt as much. I'll say that. Helmets seem to hurt people a little more. But yeah, that's where football no defense. Now baseball's a little different. You got to catch the motherfucker. And I'm not. Where are we at? Am I that far behind? American sports all watered down. Yeah. Why can't no defense? Super teams have taken the excitement. Yep. Sad part, I would die for all of you so you could good lives because you're good people. I'm willing to die the truth. Okay. Live your truth then, man. Like I said, we're not attacking people. We're not attacking people. Well, throw up in silence, baby. We're not gonna hear you if you throw up in silence. That's all I'm saying. Don't attack. That is not for my platform. I'm not having nobody attack nobody. So if you can't play by the rules tonight, you might need a timeout, baby. That's all. You might be a timeout. It's like, yeah, know when to hold them and know when to fold them. If this ain't for you, then just move around. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Come back another day. Get your refreshed. This is not for you. If you just can't do nothing but attack, this ain't for you. The NBA is a passer league, and NFL is a passers league, and NBA is a shooters league. Yeah, that's what it turned to. See these evil bastards all around me. Okay, yeah, they are. I admit. But that ain't the mask, ain't the fight. It ain't really the fight. The fight is playing the thing. That's why I wear these plastic damn masks. I'm the cleverest motherfucker. I play that game, but on my own rules. They can't say I'm breaking the rules because I'm following them. Matter of fact, the plastic mask is safer than that bullshit you wear. You have that fabric up against your goddamn face all day. I put essential oils in this shit and I walk around. It scares some people. Children, there's some children see me and start crying and shit because the shit's got no expression. It's the fake mask. It's no expression. But it's playing their rules because I know that I'm not going to play by their rules. Now, there's time where I'll slip them off and on, going in and out, of course. But if I'm walking, or going into the mall, yeah, I'm throwing that shit on, the plastic one. Motherfuckers, they know me. Motherfuckers know me. I go a lot of the places the same time. Like with Macy's, go break me off with clothes. Or Zoomies. I think it's called Zoomies. Motherfuckers know me. It's just, that's me, Mr. That's Mr. That's what all of them call me, Mr. They most of them call me Mr. Brian, I think motherfuckers know that I deserve respect and I treat everybody with respect. And so that's how you radiate respect because that's how you treat everybody. Like I don't deal with the young lady on crystal meth, but if something happened to her son, they know they could come to me. All my neighbors know. If it's some fucked up shit, come to me. They know that. Somebody bothering them. Now, not this young lady that's a Hmong. And let me tell you, I talk about the Hmong. Let me tell you how they moved this Hmong young lady in. About 20 cars came. 20 cars and trucks came. They moved her in like that. Are you guys listening to me? 20 cars and trucks came and moved her in within hours. My man that used to live under me, I was sitting here on my other show doing a live. It is minus 20 outside. The wind chill factor was minus 30. Him and his brother changed all 4 brakes in the dark. They changed all 4 minus 30. Now, do you know the type of togetherness that you want your man to succeed? You want your brother to succeed. Fuck this code. This is what a man has to do. This is what a man has to do. That's how they looked at it. He has to succeed. Because if he don't succeed, I don't succeed. So if this is what I've got to endure to help him succeed, there it is. And that's the kind of dedication and loyalty that we should have to each other. That's gone. You watch TV, it's the opposite. They want to separate all of us. They want to drive a wedge. I mean, like this goddamn election we went through. Motherfuckers really think they won. And it hurt their feelings if you talk about that shit. I mean, it really hurts their feelings. Now, what you do to your body is what you do. And what we see in 10 years is what we're going to see. I'm done trying to teach motherfuckers about that shit. You don't get it, that's on you. Because you have made a decision based off propaganda and fear. Propaganda and fear. Like I was saying about the Europeans in Tennessee on this book, The Dying of Whiteness. These people are the most in the country. One man, diabetes, missing a leg, in a wheelchair, and he smoked. He got a tank with him. Yet he's against Obamacare because it'll cost too much. Only because he watched the shit on TV. And that's what he's parroting. Not thinking that, shit, I'm going to benefit from this shit. And that's what we're hearing. That's why an idiocracy says it's got electrolytes. That's what they're trying to tell you. You parroting shit because you hear it, not because the shit makes sense. It's got electrolytes. It don't make sense, but you parroting it because this is the propaganda. The Nazis didn't lose, y'all. The Nazis didn't lose. The Nazis are still here. Nazis didn't go nowhere. Make you think they done took a couple Nazis and they helped with the atom bomb, so that's forgive all the Nazis. Nazis came over here in the hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands, they came over here. Don't you know when I was a young boy, motherfuckers spoke German? In the 60s, I had friends, most of them spoke German too. Don't you understand that? So don't tell me the Nazis lost. They didn't lose. So you got to understand, we in the 7th, 8th, 20th, 30th generation of Nazis with these motherfuckers. They didn't go nowhere. So they're using all that stuff they did, and they're using it against us. What have I missed? Soldier of the Most High. So many families not speaking after. There you go. What do you know when you're seeing all red? Any answer? Yes. What do you do when you are seeing all red? When you're seeing all red, that means like a bull. You know, bull sees a bullseye. He don't see nothing else. He don't see there's a conquistador waiting to stab his ass in the red. He is tunnel vision. A lot of times when you get in a fear situation, your peripheral vision does like this. Fear will bring that on. And so, or anger as well. So if you operating out of that, I mean, you're missing the world. You're missing everything. And that's what people like. When it be life or death situations, people count on that because people know. And it's so bad that people can see that somebody's operating like that. I can see it. I can see when people just operating on fear, and if they only see the threat, they don't see everything. So that's part of what it means. Today's the Nazis known as the Democrats. I think they're more communist than Nazis. Well, the best thing is to choke your chicken. If you want to choke something, there you go. Name of the spell book you spoke of. I would have to go get it. I'll have to show it tomorrow. I don't see it right here. I can grab it and take a second. Give me a second, and I will go get it. I like stretching my legs anyway. Well, I should have grabbed the other book. Like when you see Solomon Keys, that book kind of shows you the how. This book just straight up give you spells. And you can tell the period. Like some of this stuff, the period of the spells, you can tell because a lot of this stuff still puts Jesus. But like it's so like a lot of times what you can use is the sigil will be already there. So you already put the sigil down. And you start reciting this shit. And like this one says, is when you make the circle, first say this name, and to the east, kneeling, diraj. They give you some Latin to say. The devotee says, then make the first circle and say, in the name of of God, the oh my potent Father, by one word created. I mean, this shit is spells. You are reading the spell. It's not casual reading. It's the spell. And then another one that says, "I do bless this circle and you can tell the period is written in. It's written in during Inquisition times because they put in this place by Jesus, the true God. So when they would put that in there, it would protect them from Inquisition. So they always would put that kind of shit in there. Has made this earth. I sanctify, hollow the circle, and this place for him, our creator, that has created the worlds of naught. Now he's talking about Jesus, but he's still talking about using the circle. And then it gives by the most holy name, Theos, Otis, Yokus, Anatheus, Lot, Tetuas, Alagama, Indus, Eloi. And you saying these names that you want to bring in certain energies. And so it's nothing but that. that is all it is. It ain't casual reading. And now I know a lot of people say, well, your intention is not to cast, but you're reading cast. So it doesn't matter what your intention is. You are reading cast. And, so. But, I'm sorry, I didn't show it. It's this book. And I bought this at a discount book. I'm sure it was new. It had to be new. The Angels, Demons, and Spirits. So, yeah. And, I had to ask. I was like, I'm talking to my brother. I was like, man, this is this stuff. He's like, yeah. He's like, read me a little bit. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'd like the whole book's like that. But he's like, it's a cyclopedia, So, light and incense and breathe. 5-point star. Okay. Haras, Agasur, beings in the Indian religion, power-seeking clans related to the more benevolent devas. Hinduism, Buddhists translated Titan, demigod, anti-god. Dark Sea Justice League, anti-life is found. And we stop at nothing to get it ready. Going to Omega. Okay. So that it's good to have the research. And see, how do I want to say this? How do I want to say this? That's a way to go about it. I mean, you can make a sigil and you can, use one of these names to manifest. I don't really go about it like that. Not saying my way is right or my way is wrong. I understand how that can go about it. And certain healers work with these energies, and and it's like, it's almost when the healers work with this energy, it's almost like what you see when Jesus's pack, when disciples found out the healing shit. They was like, well, he was like, just cite the Holy Spirit and y'all got it. He was like, I'm putting the Holy Spirit on all y'all, then you go get it. And so when they're healing, they would evoke that kind of thing. And I mean, that's a thing that real healers do. Healers feel that, they need a little more push than what they have. And so the healers will evoke these, you say archangels. That's a lot of different energies that you could work with. It ain't all just, can I get $1 million? I mean, even in magic, to get $1 million takes a lot of concentration. That's why season 2, episode 3, the magicians, where they show. That's why, again, to bring in the manifest, you got to have an exhaust. As I talk about driving, when I see a motherfucker pulled over, I'm like, yeah, that's what it took for me to be successful. Him getting pulled over on my route. He was my exhaust. I mean, really, if you're not seeing the cops going opposite ways, I'm not against the brothers, the brothers that say you don't need the plates and, but a lot of those actions attract that. Now, I understand what you're saying as a sovereign individual, but your actions is going to bring that to you. I say, why not just play the game and put them on a repel? Because what you're doing is you're going to repel them. Your action is going to, the action some of these brothers do is going to draw them to them. And that's how that works. You have to totally repel that shit. where they don't even have no reason to fuck with you. I was behind a dude that was driving a truck with a 20-year-old plate. And I don't know if he was selling it, what he was doing, but he had a year-old plate. And I'm like, yeah, you can function like that. Like you watched American God, he had a car that could turn into different cars. They're not worried about, this trivia stuff. So you have to understand, you want to manifest, especially you want to bring abundance in, well, you got to have bad luck go somewhere. Keep that in mind. It's like the fork. The good come to you and the bad you're pushing back out. I have my samurai jack with the sword, the little plastic character. First time I've had this thing for about 6-7 years. It knocked over earlier. I looked at it. It's got the samurai jack shoes on the little flat little thing. I've got to show it one day. But he cuts away this bullshit. He is my exhaust. So, Michael Rappaport did a really good Nazi Makes Me Wonder. And Higher Learning, yeah. And then all this stupid shit with him. And then they're going to hit Kevin Garnett for 50 racks. Bernard Equinox, Watcher of the East, Ragla, Samuel. And Samuel is another, summer, solstice. And we are coming up to a solstice. Hey, Normalize. Thank you for joining. I need someone to tell me how to stop the dreams and have our future because I have seen it many times and nobody can. Start journaling. And it will take some of that away. You got to journal. Because what's happening is you want to, how do I say this? You're on a play. You're on a replay. And so until you really absorb it, because whatever's sending that to you is feeling you ain't absorbing it. So you should journal what you write. And then they'll start something new for you. So journal it. Journal it. And I mean, really journal it. And that way it'll change for you. I know what's coming. You ready for the Easter bombing distraction? Yeah, Derek. It's like my mother was like, they're so used to, because we always would cook and do everything. I tell the story, and it's a fucked up story, but and maybe I told it last night. I'll fucking tell it again. I forget. But I bought my son, I forget which Xbox little game and cartridges and shit, and it was an Easter, and Easter used to be like a Christmas. And so as Brendan was 10, 11, 12, he got another Christmas. I mean, the little boys, whatever you get them, they were little, but it was like Easter was another Christmas for them. And I kind of have, the family was a little bit Roman Catholic on my grandfather's side. My great-grandmother, all them had a little bit of Irish in them. And so, it was a thing. And until the last 5 or 6 years, everybody is older too, but, it's just something that we would get together and have dinner and everything. And so my mother's was kind of like, well, I'm going with friends. You're not doing anything? And just hinting, like, can we do a family thing? But I'm like, I don't do that for that. I don't do that for that anymore. Now, if you want me to come make food, I'll cook and everything. But I'm like, go with your friends. Go with your friends. That's what I say. Go with your friends. Great pain, suffering is coming to earth because of people not open to their shirt and show. Yeah, I mean, it's but the earth has seen that before. It's not like, motherfuckers don't show you it happened before. I mean, the thing about it is the generation that's the younger generation, the people that are going to get caught into all this as children. That is the sad thing. That people in the next 10 years, that they're already dumbing down everything of our education. And then they put you in a year of people that really barely could be your parents. It's people that really can't deal with the children all the time. You deal with the children in the evenings. It's people that go to work, put their children in daycare all day, and then they go to school all day. They deal with you 2 days a week. They got to deal with you all day. And then in the summertime. And a lot of you got the money, you keep these motherfuckers busy, sending them to camps and going on vacations where you ain't just got to deal with them. But what you just saw is a lot of motherfuckers' inability to parent when you're around them all the time. Shit, a lot of people didn't even want to be around their wife all the time or their husband all the time. They wasn't used to that either. Had a whole nother life at work. Not saying you cheating or anything, but I'm just saying you had a whole nother life at your career. Now all of a sudden you just in each other's face. That's a lot. That was been stressful as well. I mean, hell, in England, they're fucking still in lockdown. Did y'all see in France where the farmers took their tractors into Paris and was running shit over and backing the police up? Y'all see that shit? You know, I really, even though this is the test place in Minnesota that I saw the test. I saw it, and I said it both with Young Skills and the dude on Facebook that got had the funeral at the Bastille. I'll think of his name in a minute. I said, these are tests. Both of them I could see tests. They didn't think Floyd would make motherfuckers everywhere mad. They didn't anticipate that. And people, in a way, didn't know they was also mad at all this fake shit. Because remember, Floyd made this shit go away. When the news was making money on Floyd, that's all they was showing. The shit went away for about 3 weeks. And then as soon as it goes away, well, hey, back to this bullshit. It went away. There was no more don't be in motherfuckers' face. Look at this shit here. They going crazy. They in each other's face. You saw some mass, but not most people in the street. Motherfuckers that they bring in to break shit and start the looting because our people are too weak and too non-disciplined. If we had disciplined people wouldn't give a fuck if they broke the buildings of the glass. Because you discipline enough to know what the goal of it is. You out in the street, what's the goal? To steal some shit from fucking Target? Really? Sweatsuits from Target? Toys? Shoes? Material bullshit. I mean, they make a shoe that costs the company $5 and then charge us $80 to $100. And then some people think that's the only thing in life that makes you a person, is to have that. Well, let me get a divination for what I've been going. Okay, yeah, let me get a divination. I think we are at 13 platoons, 0 platoons, 8 tunes, 7 and we are on 5 kin. Yes, I didn't need to look. We are in 5 kin. And in 5 kin, here we go. Now, yeah, it's really going to be kind of a cool time because Chichen, right? Chichen, we have a new Eastern, so the energy is coming from the East. And we're on a new cycle. So those of you who want to manifest, you want a little push, manifest from the East. And Chichen is serpent, nervous system, reptilian brain, integration, and attainment of autonomic functions. And the energy is from the East. And if those of you that want the fractal, that is the fractal from the Mayans. Now, the Toltec. All right, and the Toltec is called Quatl or snake. In this image, we see a Yanni whose high place in the Toltec hierarchy is shown by having the snake as his walking stick. In most traditions of the world, the walking stick has the double meaning of an instrument to aid elders and an object that holds and represents the person's power. In the other hand, he holds an arrow with blood, which represents the struggle and effort that make the person capable of achieving such mastery in the handling of energy. To the Toltec, blood was the precious fluid that contained the essence of life. Often they would offer some drops of their own blood to emphasize their commitment to the spiritual forces they were in connection with. The blood on the Yanni's arrow was most likely his own, which he was offering in some purification ritual. Though such efforts and sacrifices, he was able to handle the power of the snake. The scorpion on top represents the pitfalls and the temptations that the spiritual seeker may face if he or she does not continually strive for impeccability. So my son's cracking me up. He's in there singing. The dualistic understanding of the word is at the core of the Toltec tradition. Of the word, okay, and is the present in almost every aspect of the culture. It is when the perspective that the snake reveals the most archetypical features. To the Toltec, the snake is not the enemy, but a necessary half of the sacred duality, spirit matters. It is seen as a lower companion, what is higher. Unlike the Judeo-Christian representation of the snake as evil, we need to kill, and they were in alignment with the Aztecs, the Toltec, the snake was either the material world or our side of our personality that we don't like, because we believe it is our weakness. From that point of view, it is remarkable that the serpent would be the symbol of power and at the same time, the symbol of the weakness that needs to be transcended. The parents the parent contradiction is consistent with a system of knowledge that was often built by the juxtaposition of contradictory truths, which is so much part of the Toltec culture. The snake is a symbol of weakness, but is also the symbol of power. Because of power arises from embracing the part of the evil of the self we reject as a necessary principle for growing. The snake is a symbol of power because it contains the potential to develop feathers and the start of flight of the quarter, the plum serpent, which is the uplifting of awareness. The message of this card is to recognize that power in yourself. And the other meaning of the card, to be fully aware, as the Toltec were, if we were entitled to and deserve to have a different, direct connection with a great spirit of the source by ourselves and without intermediaries. The Toltec knew that the way to do this was not through the archetypical fantasy of becoming perfect or enlightened, but instead going for that sacred encounter as we are with our virtues and flaws, because there is no time which will be totally good. There's no time which will be totally good. We are dual natured beings, and we will be dual natured beings all the way into the end. Therefore, the killing the serpent, mundane life, will be killing the soul, just as same as killing the ego, the spirit would be killing the soul. The sacredness of the serpent is the same level of the sacredness of the ego. Reveals that both sides of ourself are necessary. The tension between them, known as the dance of the eagle and the serpent, pushes us toward growth, towards the quest of coming back to our original, the source, or great spirit. So those of you that can use that, please use that. And let's see. I had a whole name of pimps on here. There was a pimp. Do y'all know there was a pimp called Fastback? Anybody ever heard of a pimp called Fastback? or Kiki Palmer as the pimp, and there was a movie about her, and she plays the stud, and she's the pimp. Oh, but Fastback, that's a hell of a name. You've been muting, listening to music, and reading lips, reading the chat, figuring the chat. All these guns in U.S. and politicians and crooked cops and the crisis actors still alive. A lot of times they are. So many agents have to fly low in orbit to get the energy. You do. Guess it makes sense that the moon is my 13th house and Opalus right now, hence the serpent charmer. Shadow workers are often overlooked. That is true. And shadow work is overlooked. A lot of people scared of that stuff. The mother goddess demands sacrifices. Time Lord, are you going to show them the human mutilations going on and how humans are food and slaves? I don't have any of that resource. Seen them, just food for these entities. Well, food and slaves, no doubt. And batteries. The Matrix shows you, it's not that you're living batteries, but a battery is the thing that works. When you put a battery in something that works. So we are the workers. We're not necessarily like they're charging off us. We work. So that's what a battery also does. It makes something work. And so what you've got to learn as you get older, unless you own your own business, and even then, a lot of times if you're successful, the more money you make, a lot of times, the less you do. The less you do. A lot of times, the hard you work hard, you make less money working hard. Physically, I'm talking about. My first job, I made $2 and something an hour. That was in 80. I was anticipating going into General Motors, making about $25 an hour, and doing that all summer, be able to buy me a car. And General Motors cut out their apprentice program after my freshman year in high school. So instead of making about $25 an hour working for General Motors, I had to make $2 an hour sitting in a damn park all day. Now add $2 times 40. It's not very much money. I probably could have made more money babysitting. Planet 9 alignment, my Death Star Bullock. Suez Canal contains children. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time. But I've talked about that, with Obama and 3,000 children missing. 150 at a pop. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of getting along. We fuel the machine. Yep, we are all the bots. We are. And Like they were showing somebody on a 14-foot fence just dumped 2 children on the American side on the other side of the fence and just hauled ass. We know that's theater, but it's somebody that wants these children. There's orders being made. Who dumps children like that if they're in an order for them? I mean, at least Uncle Imbecile, that shit wasn't going on when Uncle Imbecile was running shit. They wasn't just all Russian. And we know propaganda. Again, I've spoken many times. Every time they show these people, they wearing clean clothes. One lady, when she talked to Falling Up the Stairs Joey, she said a child walked 1,000 miles from some country in South America. That's impossible. It's impossible, physically impossible for a 9-year-old to walk 1,000 miles. He's not going to carry enough water. He's not going to carry enough food. How the fuck does he know where to go? And the shit just like people listening to it like, you really think we this stupid to think this little motherfucker done walk 1,000 miles? Now, he followed a bunch of people and he could stay up with them? I don't even think so. 9-year-old going to get tired and sleepy before most people would be done walking. So 9-year-old will fall too far behind. And the dangers that a 9-year-old could get into, 9-year-old would chase something over a cliff and there he goes. It's no way. It's propaganda. It's no way that's believable. And then all these when Uncle Imbecile had them all in the lunar blankets, you know, that shiny shit that's been here since the so-called moon landings in '68. That's where that shit comes from. My father had one when I was in 8th grade. 1975, I think it was. He had one of them damn shiny blankets. And they're warm. I'll say that. They're warm. But remember what happened to the firefighters. They got under the shiny blankets and they was like Reynolds or aluminum foil. They got baked. They said the fire could sustain you. And yeah, they lied to them. They lied to those folks. They thought that stuff was going to save them. So you should be lucky you came home tonight, all of you. I've been at work right now, not hard, but it pays. Where'd it go? I missed it. But it pays, hardly worth it. Yeah, I feel you, Rocky, and I'm not demeaning anybody's work. But it's like when I worked for the water department, the higher I rose, the easier I worked. I mean, I was looking at dudes that was 10 years older than me. I was 24, 25. No, I was younger than that. I was 22, 23, and I was making just as much money as these dudes that have been there for 10 years, and I'm at the same level, and they dirty every day. I'm wearing mirrored glasses. I'm baked every day. We turning damn water valves. That's what at one time, we was just changing water meters. We driving around just changing water meters, me and my man. And then they cut my position out, so I had to go with the people where we was doing water valves. Then years later, the dude I used to work with, they said he was in the city truck smoking crack. Can you imagine that dude like, well, you know, those hits from last night weren't good enough. And hey, I'm by myself. Let's have a blast. I'm at work right now. Not hard. Oh, okay, but hardly worth it. I feel you. Nuke Sweden. There's where these fuckers. Oh, okay. LC will save the immigrants. We'll see. But it's a sad thing because they're ordering children and they're getting served the children. That's the point of this all. Now, you can say about Uncle Imbecile what you want, but this wasn't going on with the children like it's going on now. It's unload children. Raise these children to give them up. And that's how you're going to make money. Get these women to have these babies. I mean, it becomes a business. You have to understand this. It's a business. So the cartel ain't about just drugs anymore. You get in less trouble if you just start having farms of women getting pregnant, having these children, and turning these children over to the cabal or whatever you want to call it. Just trying to give you an idea. This is what they've turned into. They've made it harder for the cocaine. They don't really care about weed, but they've made it harder for the cocaine. They don't care about heroin, but they want heroin from Afghanistan. They don't want heroin from South America. So they don't care that heroin comes in. They just don't want the Mexican heroin. Most people don't either. They want the heroin from over there in Afghanistan, but Then Vietnam, Como. Como story been quiet. Yeah, they did kind of kill that. I know where these are. California, England, 51, Denver. Take your pick. I work a security job. Is light. I didn't take it. I don't take it seriously. I've told you my security stories. I used to have with my mom, with my daughter's mother. I used to have sex almost like I worked because I refed. I mean, excuse me. I was coaching high school ball. I worked every weekend during the day, and she would get her hair done every Saturday. And she'd come over like when her hair was she's waiting to get a dry or some shit. She'd come over and I'd knock her off, and we would do that. And then Sunday she'd have some reason to come downtown, and I had 5 buildings. We used to really rotate where we would have sex in the different buildings. So I was supremely pimping in that security job. I took advantage of the situation and had a good time in doing it. And used to hustle. It's funny, no one picked up on it. Everybody was bringing me Burger King, and this was how we was doing exchanges. They would put the money in the Burger King, and a lot of times they have my desk worth of Burger King bags. Everybody, and I was giving them the product like that at the security job in the heart of downtown, out in pretty much in the open building. But if you have a habit and people see that you got a lot of friends and everybody likes you and you get to do those kind of things, it seems normal. You make it normal. ah, mm. San Francisco, Vegas. I need a book on pimping. Any recommendations? I think Iceberg Slim is a good book. A lot of fantasy in it, but it actually gets into some of the mindset. So it's a good book. It's a good book to read. It's a whole bunch of books. I have to look into it. What other books? I think Edward had the books that sounded the best, and so we have to ask Edward to put those back up or put them in the when we get done. Put them in. But Edward has some good books too. So it's a few. I couldn't say. I read Iceberg Slim a long time ago. Um, I'll tell you another one that people really don't think is, but Soul Brother on Ice with Eldridge Cleaver and Eldridge Cleaver with Catherine. That part, and it gets into the Lazarus syndrome a little bit of messing with white women or European women because so you can feel dominant over the European man. He gets into that, but his love letters to Catherine. She was a lawyer and he was in jail and he pimped hard. And so those letters are interesting too. Of he put intelligence in his pimping, and that's what she was attracted to. She became attracted to his intelligence. Then later he was abusive. She was pregnant. He was hitting her, but those initial things that where shouldn't even been looking at him, and he might have been a little bit of that Stockholm syndrome, somewhat. This guy's in jail, and like we just saw Maya Moore. Maya Moore got a dude off and married this cat that had been locked up. So it took some kind of pimping on his end to even make her think that this could be more than just me fighting your case. So those are some things. But just look stuff up. See if something's interesting to you. It's a bunch of fiction. Shit, the dude who wrote Cotton Come to Harlem. Oh man, I just had his name right there. Some with an H, I can't think, but shit, Gravedigger and Coffin Ed, them some of the strongest characters. Because also he wrote the book Devil in a Blue Dress. But Coffin Ed and Gravedigger, shit, them are some of the strongest brothers you ever will see. There was brother detectives fighting in Harlem in the 50s and 60s. I love those characters, reading about those characters just as much as the players and the pimps. I love like shit. These motherfuckers with guns and they cops and they slapping motherfuckers with these pistols. I love those characters. The movie was great, but the book was better. The book was better. The Security Pimp. There you go. Oh, you read that book. There you go. Okay. But put those books up there, Edward, the one you was telling me about, talking about the Mac, that the player wants sex, the pimp wants money, and the Mac wants power. Put those books back up there if you don't mind. Did Iceberg Slim hit women in clothes hangers? Probably. probably. Iceberg Slim, his story, or was that him? It was one pimp out of the Bay that went somewhere else in California, and he took 10 women with him, and he took the 10 women, and all his women got chosen by somebody else, and so he went back and he brought his. So those was his D's. You know, if you say A, you got women A, B, C, D's. Those was his D's. Those first 10. He came back with the C's, and the C's just took over the area. It was like you took not the bottom. See, the bottom one. That's what people got to remember is. Your bottom person is not that somebody you just disregard. Now I'm saying in that instance he did, but the one that would be called the bottom would really sometimes be the first chick that's just with you. So she ain't bottom. She's just like her. She has less and less to have to trick. She's running every other thing. So she's not the number one. She takes the number 4 as far as helping organize things. And sometimes she's the one that's been the longest with you. Because women get old. Men like, seeing a new face, and that's a real thing. I mean, it's not that you recruit. Women recruit better. See, women recruit better than men recruit. If a woman is out there doing a thing like that, other women watch her and ask her. That's my experience. I never had to go and say, hey, can you do this because I'm Jones in her? No, I've always had women approach me. Now, one woman in this world can say, I just convinced her. I've had women approach me and say, I need some help, and you look like you could help me, and this is what I'm about. Okay. Take it as it is. San Francisco, Jody says, could be. Books, Ron Willis, Nice Guys and Players, Sexual Chemistry, and Meeting Attractive Women. Thank you for doing that. Very kind of you. Whoresome by Goins. There you go. I feel like I'm over 9,000 here tonight. Players want sex, pimp want money, Max want power. I learned this from my uncle Lester, taught me. Very deep, very. Definitely sick from here. From now on, you better free speech right away, straight up. Well, it's not that. It's like we all need a timeout. That's all, Jeffrey. We all need a timeout. I feel you are ally of mine. You have your right to your opinion, but I have a right to run my platform the way I want to run it. And if you feel you can't abide by the rules, it's not free speech. It's saying it might be the night for you to take a time out. That's all. I mean, we don't have to really take it further than that. You understand. You overstand. That's all. I'm not going to have people attack other people. That's all it is to it. You don't see me ranting on this motherfucker and just talking about a motherfucker for hours. That's just not how I want to do it. My time of attacking people is over. Now, will there be certain subjects where I talk about a motherfucker? Absolutely. I'm a real motherfucker. I talk about myself. I'm not fake. But just attacking another motherfucker because I'm upset or my ego's there, I ain't about that. I ain't talking shit about a motherfucker because I'm mad. I know better. That's all I'm saying. Now, you've had dealings with him, and you feel a certain kind of way. But why are you taking it out on me and the people that's reading? Is that fair to me? Because you upset and you disagree with him? That ain't fair to me. Nobody wants to hear you vent about him. He been gone for almost an hour, and you still thinking about him. You got to check yourself and say, why? Why am I still mad about a motherfucker that's been gone for an hour? Okay, that's an hour ago. It's over. So you got to move on. That's all I'm saying. Move on. Talk about something else. Recommended reading, The Seduction, Scriptures by Scorpio. The entertainer, also known as YouTube name Cousin Tiwa, the Alpha Wingman. Okay, thank you, Edward. So there you guys go. I ain't got time to talk about what somebody else do. I ain't with that. Well, that's the thing. You say a fight. Who you fighting with right now? He ain't here no more. So who you fighting with? He is not here anymore. Okay? He ain't here no more. So that part is over. We on to something else. And you still back on start. Come on now. Move the way energy moves, man. Nobody trying to censor you. Are you ready to make money this weekend? Yes. I damn sure didn't make money tonight. I thought the young lady from Hopkins would do it, but when I saw that 22 points in the first half, I was like, they on some bullshit. I will definitely make money this weekend, though. Take Houston the points, mark my words. Yeah, that's what I got to do when I get off here. That's what I got to do, look in the over and unders and get that shit in for both games. I might do some online betting. We'll see. Thank you, Jody. Baylor versus Gonzaga. Yeah, I see that as well. They gave Gonzaga the easiest way. I still got that feeling about being a mid-major, though. That is not what they want. They don't want a mid-major to win. I would be very surprised. Now, some people say, you look at school size. Villanova and Gonzaga schools is very close in size, I believe. But it's a mid-major compared to a school in the Big East. So I just don't see them giving it to a mid-major. A mid-major has not won and since Texas Western, Loyola, Cincinnati. Yeah. Mid-major has not won since the early 60s. I want to say Texas Loyola was the last mid-major to win. Or no, Texas Western, excuse me. Texas Western, I think, was the last one to win it. And this is when the shit wasn't even, it was the NIT. NIT was a little more popular than NCAA. So, well, Jeffrey, you have the right to say your opinion, but you don't have the right to say it on my channel. That's what it boiled down to. Now, I don't want to erase you from the channel because you're mad. Now, at some point, you got to grow the fuck up. I'm not going to sit here. You disrespecting me now. So it ain't even about him. You are just straight up disrespecting me. So I'm supposed to play your game? I really got to put you out? That's what you trying to force me? So I'm making you an enemy? You my enemy? Is that really your goal? Because that's what it seems like. It seems like you want to make enemies with me and you. I'm wasting time talking about you. And I told you, quit double posting. See, you want to be put out. I'm not going to play that game. You want to be put out. I don't even want to talk about you this much unless you got something to build on. It's a game. I see with you. You want attention. Okay, you got attention. Okay, I'm moving on. But you're not going to keep disrespecting me because I'm not trying to make an enemy. But I'm not going to be disrespected to me and everybody else. You're a grown motherfucker, man. Act like you a grown motherfucker. You're not a child. Quit acting on emotion. No one here wants to see your emotion because you're mad. Lane, we love you. That's right. Like I said, if you need a timeout, take a timeout. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Come back tomorrow. Just listen. It's like you trying to force my hand. I'm an alpha. I'm an alpha, baby. I'm an alpha. But I'm not falling for a game. I'm not going to play the game you want because you want me to block you and then so you can be mad at me and make another enemy. That's a game. I'm not a game player, baby. So quit doing it. I keep laminating being modulated down here. I can't escape it. It's driving me mad and making me question even my own spirituality. I keep mutilated down here. Wow, Rocky. Well, I would say the first part is Rocky is get grounded, and then seeing where everything is not in harmony with you. Find out where the disharmony is coming from, and read that, and then take the attacks one by one. You say you being cut up. Well, stop one cut at a time. You can't stop it all at once, but stop one cut at a time and attack it one at a time. Turn it around. I'm losing my mind. I understand. I understand. It's not hard to do. I mean, one of my favorite saying is, you got to fight even though you want to cry. That has been my whole life. You have to fight even though you want to cry. So, Being grounded helps strengthen your energy, consciousness, and intent. Yeah. So, fight one swing at a time, Rocky. Don't try to fight it all. Fight it one blow at a time. Fight it one blow at a time. That's all you got to do. Don't try to take everything on. It's like when you make a mistake and you had the old pencil and eraser, you didn't want to have to erase the whole page. You go word by word, erase, make it look neat, and then put what was supposed to be there. So erase one word at a time. Find out where it's all starting, and slowly block them and slowly turn it around. That's the best I could tell you. I know a lot of us is feeling that. A lot of us, and that's just believe that this moment will pass. But it's like you always have armor, and your spirituality should change. It should evolve. It really should. I mean, I'm much different than I was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I used to say, I think the light that I am and the light that is all things. I used to say that every day with the family. And, the energy was misguided. So I understand having those attacks. Yeah, I had to fight for my children. I had to fight all these people. I go into court with a person that has 2 lawyers and an advocate, and it's just me. And at that point in my life, I was on the bottom of the hill, looking up at the Empire State Building without thinking I could ever get over it. But every day it was something, 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 something. And when it all ended, I was the one with the lawyer. Everybody had abandoned her, and they gave me everything I wanted. So keep fighting. Keep fighting the good fight. Dude, on training day, hide your smiles and cry. There you go. It's True GL saying the same shit. More is 2:13. I just got here. uh, okay. Oh, you capping too, huh? so you got somebody to join you. Okay. Use a hoe. Use a hoe. Use a straight up hoe. He's a straight up hoe. Okay. I'm not gonna be trolled. That shit's funny to me. Jeffrey, see what you bring it in. You bring it in trolls. Jeffrey, if you want to be my enemy, that's on you, baby. That's on you. I'm not sending no arrows at you though. I'm not sending no arrows because I don't have to. That's on you. You want this attention. You want me to talk about you. I'm moving on. I got other things to talk about. I'm not gonna sit here and babysit you because you upset. I got a lot of people I deal with. I mean, I forgot to mention, I was supposed to have the Awaken one on. She had some business to do. We'll be on tomorrow. The Awaken one will be on tomorrow. So I'm sorry about that. And me and Sly talked, and I ain't got to explain shit, but it's like he had time. Thank you. So you don't have to agree with it. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to like every motherfucker I like. I probably don't like every motherfucker you like. But you're not going to be disrespectful. You're not going to get no more attention. So I'm moving on. That's on you. What's the technique? What's the technique? How do you send arrows? That's a good question. Well, the astros and the ethers can be used in a lot of different ways. And one effective way that it can be used is you can send arrows at a motherfucker when they sleep or when they're tuned out, not paying attention. It comes in their consciousness. And there's spiritual attacks. That's a real thing. So some people have to have that to keep you off them. Sometimes you have to throw that shit around you to keep shit off you. That's what arrows are. There you go. There you go. Oh, but to answer your question, so is Horus our pineal gland? I don't know if I would look at it Horus like that. I think it's much more than that. It was always used. I mean, again, when I'm talking about when you flatten your head, you bound your head in the back and the front. Your pineal gland is in a different place. And so it reacts greaterly for people. So I think that's older than the thought of Horus. But I want to answer your question, Rocky. Um, your question was, how do you start? And or was it, what's the technique? Again, just to ground. If sometimes you just have to go out in the dirt or the grass and just connect with Mother Earth. That's the start. So you're not, so the energy is not so floaty. And realize that everything that's in that dirt, even though you on top of it, you the same thing as it. Even though you smushing grass, you still the grass. So you're trying to really connect with the source. That's all. And then again, like I've said, you can't attack everything at the same time. You have to just do slow battles. Just do slow battles. So that's all. Symbolizes the third eye and the pineal gland. Yeah, I understood that, Edward. I understood what he said. I understood. But I'm saying it's older than that. You know, it's not, they not the first. It wasn't called that when it was first used. Because the Kemetan people didn't bind their heads. They like this. So they had a different kind of consciousness. And who do you think taught them about that stuff? They didn't teach them to bind their heads, though. So I understood the question. I just gave the answer full as I could give the answer. You know, it's enemy and friend is a matter of choice and vibration. There you go. There you go. Because you can't create something and be mad about it. Hey, strong discernment. People call it the third eye. It's really the first eye. Yeah. Oh, and I'm pretty sure today the simulator was out, at least in my area. And it's funny. You catch it right like 7:30. Like it's high enough, but again, it's not as strong where, you know, it's burning the shit out your eyes. And I would like look at it, and it really did this. All the clouds kind of went away. And it was like quite cloudy here, windy and cloudy, and all the clouds went away. And you could just, it was the simulator. I'm pretty sure. I don't think it was the sun. It appeared to be the simulator. But it's cool just to stare and then just to close your eyes, and you can just feel it deep, go deep into your pineal gland. And the colors, like it brought a really, really rich green out. It's like not just the yellow color, the orange that the sun can give you when you close your eyes and look. It really gave me a rich green, so I know it went deep inside me. So that's again, when the sun comes up, you can get that, and when it comes down, it might be easier for people because people might not be up when the sun comes up. Because when May hits, we're gonna have them long days, and I'm gonna be on that. I'm gonna start getting up every day early for these longer days, these 12, 13-hour days. And when that sun comes up, that's a good time because you can actually get full. You feel like you don't even need to eat as much. If you get that before sun and then you get the sun at the end of the day, you find that it almost puts you in a self-fast. But it's interesting the colors that sun gazing can give you. It can give you that deep green, and I was impressed with that today. I was really impressed with that deep green. I was going to Florida, but I was still suffering from. Okay. Wow. I must admit. There you go. There you go. Okay. He's tripping. He's tripping. So. Okay. That's what you want, buddy. I think that's what he wanted. So that's what you want. That's what you want. Okay. Oh, didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry, Tiger Strong. I didn't mean to put you out. I was just giving him. Sorry, this shit's tripping. So Tiger Strong, please forgive me. I didn't mean to do that. I was giving Jeffrey wanted to be in timeout, so he's gonna be putting one. Tiger Strong, please forgive me. I didn't mean to. It's the machine did this, and I'm about to get off anyway. It's getting late. I do have a busy day of travel tomorrow, so. Gonzaga point spread is -14. Ooh, SD, really. And actually, UCLA, they had them shoot good the other day. Not sure how good they're going to shoot tomorrow, but they had them shoot good. Well, guys, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I've been your host, 8 Wind is Timeless. I thank you all for paying attention for Old Pimp. and listening to my stories. I'm sorry some of you got upset, but that's life. We're not gonna like everything.
Upset about what?
Yeah, I do. I do have a day tomorrow that I'm looking forward to.
Upset about what?
So thank you all. And as I always start with Eshawn's poem, I'm not a New York rapper or LA gang banger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. Till we meet again.